Your house here, and there you are in the doorway waving to me. And on the side of your house there's a little electric meter that measures how much electricity you're using in your home. And the electricity comes from the utility poles, which we used to call telephone poles, but don't have anything to do with telephones anymore. Comes into your house and provides you with the electricity that you need. So the telephone poles connect all the different houses in your neighborhood, and they all go to this substation. So there's a pretty high voltage at the substation, and the voltage is stepped down to go through these wires, and then stepped down again, so it's safer when it gets to your home. It's not as dangerous. But it's stepped up to go to these great big things that you see marching across the landscape, the huge wires. And this is the place where NYSEG actually makes decisions about what it's sending down to your house and to the businesses and to the schools. This is where they buy their energy. So here's the demand, where we're using energy, and here's the supply. So they have to make decisions here. How much are we going to buy? At what price? From whom? Right now we mostly buy hydroelectric from Niagara Falls and from Canada, nuclear, and a little bit of gas. We're not using coal or oil really in our region. Downstate in New York it's very different, but upstate this is mostly what we're using. So these companies sell energy to NYSEG. NYSEG decides how much to buy, and then it sends it on its wires down to our house. So what's changing right now is that some of us are putting solar panels on our homes. And what that does is all of a sudden the energy is going in the other direction. So instead of just going one way, coming from them and going to us, we're sending it back. And there are hundreds and hundreds of homes in Tompkins County who are sending electricity back onto the grid. So all of a sudden this is really more complicated than it's ever been before, because stuff's coming in as well as going out, and how are they balancing all of this, and how do they know how much to buy? The other thing that's changing is we would really like to not use fossil fuels at all. At all. Leave it all in the ground. More wind farms are going up, more large solar farms are going up. We have some in Tompkins County. And that's feeding a new kind of energy onto the grid. The problem is that it's variable. The wind doesn't blow all the time, and the sun doesn't shine all the time. So it's sometimes there, it's sometimes not. So how do we balance all of that? How do we make sure we're buying enough? How do we compensate for what's coming onto the grid? So it's a very complicated problem, and the smart meters help them understand what's going on better. They can measure what we're producing, and they can measure what we're using on a 15-minute basis. So they know immediately. The information goes wirelessly from here to here, and they get better information about what to buy based on what's needed and what we're supplying also. So understanding this grid helps us to think about, oh, I see, if I reduce my energy use, actually it helps because they can take more variable on and maybe figure out battery storage, or maybe we can have battery storage right in the home. So they're working on all of these problems right now so that the entire grid shifts to renewables.